the immunity.
Sorry. Paano?
Next time na yung amyloidosis, immunity muna tayo. So, I'm just going to give you some tips to identify the slides and give you the type of hypersensitivity. After all, most of these are allergic. So, parang may autoimmune component dito. So, slide 198. What is this?
Fancy juice.
I think this is the skin which has a vesicle, a pemphigus. So here in this figure, you will see the separation of the epidermis and the dermis, somewhere in between the stratum basale and stratum spinosum. It's actually due to antibodies against certain proteins that bind these cells, the intercellular connections. They say it's a certain protein in the desmosomal connection. Okay, so with that, it's gonna attack it and lose that kind of connection. Thus, there will be separation. Okay, and that separation will cause accumulation of fluid right there, and because of the inflammatory reaction, it's going to cause. Because of the reaction, it's going to cause inflammatory reaction, particularly around blood vessels, perivascular, chronic inflammatory cells right there. So in the dermis. So this is pemphigus. The primary culprit is antibody. What type is that? Yes, type 2. When you say antibody, Y shape yun, di ba? So it says 2. That's good, Darwin. Good initiative. So dalawa, 2, Y, antibody. That's how I remember it. So pag ganyan, type 2. Okay? This is type 2. I want you to find out the specific antigen by which your autoantibody is directed against. And try to read about how antibodies cause inflammation. How do they do that? A simple substance, the antibody, can cause this entire inflammatory process. How and why? I trust that you read about it, huh?
Yes,
Okay. And trust me, I'm gonna ask about it. Okay. Slide 172. What is this? So as you can see, it is thyroid tissue, but it's no longer recognizable. I can recognize it because of these remaining thyroid follicles. So here, there is replacement of the entire tissue with these tertiary lymphoid nodules. Now here, this is quite an interesting disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Why? Because the thing is, the patients manifest what? Hypothyroidism. Why? There is massive tissue destruction. You will see that the lymphocytes replace your thyroid parenchyma. There are no longer thyroid tissue. Very little remains. And such that it does not produce much of this thyroid hormone anymore. No? Remember that these cells, the thyrocytes, or your follicular cells, produce much of the thyroid hormone under the influence of what hormone from the pituitary? Okay, thyroid stimulating hormone from the pituitary. It has a receptor on that cell membrane of your thyrocytes. And in fact, this kind of disease is also associated with autoantibodies against these thyrocytes. But the thing is, these autoantibodies are said to be non-activating. So they essentially kill by probably apoptosis, and replace them with this tertiary lymphoid nodules, complete with germinal centers. Normally, you don't see this in a thyroid tissue. So there is a chronic inflammatory response. Also, there is what we call a cellular element associated with this, particularly your lymphocytic infiltrate. So in a sense, it has both components of the several types of hypersensitivity. Now, I want you to read about what is the specific